What's up, guys? Time to show off something really cool. I haven't done a Piranha build in a while. I don't have too many Piranha dials left. But I thought, you know what? It's time to do one. So I did something pretty cool with this one. I happen to have some like hour chapter rings, for lack of a better term. So I had to find dials where it would kind of line up well and not cover up too much, because their dials are not made thinking that something else is going to be put on top of it, right? That's what that is. So this Piranha looked great. Put it over top of it, merged those two together, and I just liked the way the silver looked on each other, so I did a full silver build. Now, obviously, this is on a really nice Italian leather strap, but you can obviously swap it over to an engineered band for a completely different look, like kind of silvered out look, which would be awesome. But did a brushed case on this. I did a polished crown bezel with one of my new milled steel inserts. Did a set of silver Moldova hands with a long loom seconds hand. So you've got lots of different style silver. You've got a background that's done in matte with the Piranha that is more, it's got a little bit of a brushed look to it, but it instantly pops in the light because it is more of a polished Kraken. Dude, I'm like, don't say Kraken, don't say Kraken. I just did 2 Kraken builds. Polished Piranha. And then the Moldova hands also have kind of that same style sheen, but the hour ring is brushed. So you've got brushed, matte, and polished all together. You've got a polished bezel with a milled, so this is brushed. You can see it's circles, right? It's running around that way. So more of a milled look, I guess, than a brushed look, which is kind of the same thing. Bezel insert, brushed case. And then I didn't have any anchors, so I thought, you know what? I have a bunch of these. These look cool. So little logo back there on an Italian leather strap, super soft. And then I grabbed one of these milled preview buckles that I think looks really cool. I just thought, that kind of just ties it all in together. Looks super nice. Our hand is obviously down inside. The minute hand is just above that ring. It lined up like perfect, and it's been keeping perfect time for a whole day. So I thought, oh no, am I gonna have to bend it up a little bit and then bend up the seconds hand, since the minute hand's up, and I did not. So it almost looks like it's resting on it, but you can see a little bit of a shadow. It is not, but it is so close. Bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. It is a tension ring bezel. It is not going to click. Automatic mechanical, you've got a rotor in the back, so as you're moving, it's moving and keeping your time. But before you set your time, before you put it on, just in case you're going to be driving, not active enough to keep it running, wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads and see, hear it, and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind. And a wind is a turn away from you, clockwise. If you turn it towards you, it still clicks, but it does not wind. And I just go back and forth. You can always do this motion if you want. I just start to thread it back onto the crown tube when I do that. And if I do this, I can kind of adjust on the fly if I'm starting to put it back onto the crown tube. So 4 or 5 seconds of that mixed with your rotor movement will keep your time throughout the day. If you do it for another 4 or 5 seconds, you're going to max out that 31-hour plus power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. It's got a slipping mainspring, so as it gets the tension it needs, it is just deflecting. When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click. You'll notice it does not have a hacking movement because this is going to keep ticking. You can now set your time. You'll notice you've got a wobble crown. That deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so don't worry about that. Nothing is loose. Everything is cool. Alexa, what time is it? Oh, I didn't even hear it. Alexa, what time is it? 11:33 a.m. Push it over, get it out of that time setting. Wind it down, and there is your build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beats. You're going to get a Piranha topped slider box with Atlas pillow. You're going to get a few things. Watch cleaners. This is good on all glass and metal parts. Everything here in the center. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. You'll also get leather conditioner. That will keep that strap perfectly soft. Though with my stuff, 9 times out of 10, you do not need stuff like that on mine. But if you would ever feel that it's not as soft or pliable as before, apply that on the front and back of the leather using a rag. Don't use one of your microfibers. And let it soak in. Then it will be back to being nice and pliable. So if anything, you're going to use it on your other watch straps that you have. Probably not mine. Lastly, you're going to get some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch, and it's for your domed acrylic glass. You can scratch the glass. If you do, no big deal. You're going to put a tiny bit of this on it, and you're going to buff it out with your additional microfiber. So, probably should have. You know what? I always forget to do this. So I do these pillows that are nice and big and fill everything, right? Well, then I don't want to do my watch strap too tight on it. But if I don't, that glass that we're describing will actually make contact with the bottom of the slider box lid. And then, before I ship it to you, I notice that I will have a little tiny scuff right at the head, and I gotta use this and this to buff it out. So if you get that, I always look at it from the side so I can tell if I'm going to rub against that. So if you scratch your domed acrylic, put a tiny bit of this on it, buff it out with that, do small circles, do that for about 30 seconds and you will get it buffed out. If it's still there, wait a little bit, let that solidify and revisit it. But that is the build. If it's going to you, congrats. I hope you love it. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe so I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.